Butler, Pennsylvania. A young man, 20-year-old by the name of Thomas Matthew Crooks, tried to take out the president of the former president of the United States, soon to be again president of the United States, Donald John Trump. I've never seen this in my lifetime. I know Reagan, I think they tried to push Reagan's wig back in '81, but I think it was about a year old. So this is a first for me. I know presidents get threatened every single day. That's why they have the motorcades and the Secret Service and the whole bit. At first, I thought this has got to be some kind of setup for people to sympathize with Donald Trump right before the Republican National Convention, which has been going on all week. But then I got to thinking, why would Donald John Trump risk his life to gain some sympathy? I don't know what the polls are looking like, but most people are rolling with Donald Trump. I know some of the left-leaning people are like, no, still a close race. After that first debate, it was game over. I thought it was game over before that just because of where the country is right now. But it had me thinking, maybe somebody on his inside was the person to do it. Because if you look at the pictures, Donald Trump got hit. Like a piece of his ear is off. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the convention, he's got the bandage on it, the whole bit. You seen all the memes and all that other stuff come out. But then I had to think about it. Why would Donald Trump risk his life to gain some sympathy? He's an arrogant businessman from New York. Then I got to thinking. Then you started hearing some of the reports coming out. Oh, the Secret Service told because I guess the snipers had the shooter at range, or they knew who he was, and it was told by the Secret Service to stand down. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a hit. This wasn't just an assassination attempt. This was a government-sanctioned hit. And the woman who is the director of the Secret Service not only should be fired, but should be thrown in jail. I know we're talking about DEI, all this other stuff. You know, we need more women hired. But here's the reality. You need killers if you're going to protect the president. Her name right here. Yes, her name is the director of the CIA, Kimberly A. Cheadle. Ma'am, you should be thrown in jail. We're not going to find out. Well, actually, we might find out in our lifetimes what really happened. But this was an assassination attempt done from within the government. They're not going to send a real shooter out there, so they got to send somebody from the outskirts. You don't, as the director of the Secret Service, see a guy sitting out there with a sniper rifle from outside of your purview, blah, 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 which we know is BS. They have satellites, they have helicopters, everything they do to protect the president. And from what I heard is, oh, well, you know, that was out of our not scope, but like out of our purview. Like when the president is talking, the amount of miles that go between for his protection, or her, if there's not a female president, but if for that president's protection or former president is miles. How could that be out of your purview? And then you see the video of one of the Secret Service women getting down, you know, while the shots are going off, while all the other men are jumping on top of the president. You need killers and people willing to sacrifice themselves to do that job. I don't want to hear about diversity, equity, inclusion. Do you know why bars and clubs in various parts of the country and the world 99.9999999% of the time have big men standing at the door, checking IDs, working security? Because when the shit pops off, they need somebody who's in there who's going to be a killer. I mean, obviously, if it's like a bar or a club, you're trying to defuse the situation, or you're going to kick out the patrons who are acting up. But when you're doing security, especially when you're talking about dignitaries, I know they're human beings just like we are, but just for the sake of the discussion, when you're dealing with dignitaries, when you are dealing with people of a higher status, you have to be willing to take a bullet. Those women looked all discombobulated, didn't know how to put their gun back in the holster, one of the women threw their glasses back on. All that DEI, diversity, equity, this is not Hollywood. This is not some act. You're not acting in a movie. This is real life. Granted, I know like politics and a lot of this stuff is like WWE and it's scripted, but still, you're dealing with people's lives here. Now, I don't care if a woman gets hired. Can you do the job? If you can't, go sit your punk ass down and let a man handle it. I know for some of you that's going to be considered sexist or whatever the case might be. I really don't care. If you can't do the job, which is to protect that man and his family and these politicians, that's why you get paid the big bucks. So when that day comes, you have to be Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard. If you've seen the end of that movie, you have to take a bullet. That's your job. I don't want to hear about 30% of the workforce being women if they can't do the job. You seen when the president, came up after. I know they had a press conference and they said they weren't going to change any of the things that they were doing. I get that. You can't tell people what your plans are. But you see when the president went to the Republican National Convention, all men. Please miss me with this diversity, equity, inclusion farce. This ain't the Oscars. This ain't the Emmys. This ain't the Tonys. Please miss me with all that. But yes, I do believe this was an inside job. I'm not going to say the Biden administration, but I think it goes beyond that. We know the powers that be, the elite, the WEF. Anyway, let me not go too far with it. But I have another question here. I do have a question actually. We've been watching some of the Republican National Convention this week. I've barely watched any. I know that the J.D. Vance is the VP pick. All this other stuff, fine, whatever. The real question is, which song is Hulk Hogan going to come out to? Real American or Voodoo Child? According to MSNBC, Hulk Hogan will be giving a speech before I think Donald Trump comes up to the stage and accepts the Republican nomination. Never mind all that. I want to know, what song is he going to come out to? Real American or Voodoo Child? Now, I think most people think it's going to be a Real American. I am a real American. The song if you've watched, WWF back in the day. But I think, given the circumstances of what Donald Trump has gone through, that Voodoo Child would be amazing to come out to. Amazing. You get that. It's a rebellious song. Jimi Hendrix was rebellious. Hulk Hogan, I guess back in the day was in a rock band or something like that. You get Hulk Hogan coming out like he's in his NWO gear, air guitaring. That shit would be fire. Hell, I would go to the Republican National Convention just to watch that, and then I leave. Get Hulk Hogan come out there, doing all that. That would be amazing. Now, I know for some of you, you're like, this is important information. This is important. This is going to affect the remainder of the country. Let's stop the bullshit right now, okay? It's all scripted. Politics is WWE. Okay, for whatever issues you might have with Vince McMahon and the things and the human trafficking and all that, let me tell you something. Vince McMahon knew how to entertain people back in the day, okay? It's all a work, as we say, as for those of us who are wrestling fans. Or they say in the wrestling world, it's all a work. The president doesn't write his or her own speeches. The president has handlers. Most of these politicians have handlers. Okay? This is all BS. So Hulk Hogan coming out. I would love to hear Voodoo Child. Just the guitarist. Saying, I want Hulk Hogan in all black. I mean, he's not going to wear his NWO thing because of the whole New World Order, global thing. But all black, cigar in his mouth, air guitaring, that would be amazing. You know, the left, of course, would be like, they're not taking this seriously. There's no need to take it seriously. It's all scripted. This whole thing is scripted. So we might as well have some fun with it. I want Hulk Hogan air guitar. I want Hulk Hogan. Well, you know what? Maybe, I think they're going to do like they did with, Rock. The Rock came back, obviously, a few months ago for WrestleMania and all that. Maybe they'll do a combination where he comes out to, I am a real, and then transition into the Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix. I think that's what was going to happen. But if I'm Hulk Hogan, I come out to Voodoo Child just to say, 2 middle fingers to the people who tried to kill Donald Trump. But with that being said, Donald Trump will be the president. There's only one of two ways Donald Trump doesn't become president in November. They steal it, which is not implausible, or they try to kill him again. That's the only two ways. And you have now iconic picture. You have the iconic picture of Donald Trump, blood in his face, throwing the fist up, the power fist up. He doesn't have to do another debate. He doesn't have to do another appearance. Donald Trump can go chill and go on vacation and play golf till November. He's already won this. Again, there's only one of two ways. They successfully kill him or they steal the election. Either way, Donald Trump will be the president in November. Come November, I don't know exactly when I don't know when is November 5th, I think it is election day. I think it's November 5th. Yeah, November 5th, Donald Trump will be elected president. And Joe Biden's old, stuttering, demented ass will be out of there. I know so that's hard for some of y'all to believe, but you think this is like, still a contest, but it's not. It's game over. Donald Trump has more street credibility than your favorite rapper. It's done for. It's game over. Let's just fast forward to November 5th.